All right, so this week we are studying more about taking care of ourselves. Last week we talked a little bit about our bodies. We learned about the digestive system and what happens to our food when we eat it. And this week we're going to kind of carry that over, and we're going to read Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Now again, you're probably saying, oh yeah, that's an easy book, got this. Yeah, but there's more to it than just reading that book, all right? We're going to describe the overall structure of the story, all right? And you're even going to write an opinion about a specific topic at the end. And so when you're writing a topic on opinion writing, you need to use the words because, and, also, and things like that to connect your opinion and your reasons. So you will be able to analyze narrative elements, determine the meaning of a word, identify and classify foods, form an opinion of pros and cons, and write an opinion paper. So, day one, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Hopefully you read the attachment that I sent. If not, it is on YouTube. There's a link there in your mom and dad's emails to click on so that you can listen to the story if you want, or you can open that link that I sent, or the attachment that I sent, and you can read it there. All right? So, we're going to talk about the 5 food groups. And in order to start out with the 5 food groups, you should have found something that looks like this in your packet. It's probably black and white. Mine's color, but it's black and white, and it talks about your food groups, all right? So you have fruits, grains, vegetables, and proteins, all right? And so it's very important that as you're reading this book that you think about these food groups, these 4 food groups on your plate, and then also the dairy. So we're going to be looking through the book for things like that. So thinking about this book, what kind of genre do you think this is? Is it fact? Is it fiction? If it's fact, is it a biography or autobiography? Is it fiction? Is it historical fiction? Is it a tall tale? Is it a folk tale? What kind of genre do we have here? All right. We're also going to talk about the author's purpose. Why do you think the author wrote this book? We need to know the setting, the characters. There is a plot, so there's a problem and a solution, okay? So, when you begin reading the book, hopefully you already have, you need to be also thinking about how the beginning and the end are different from other books. So, how is the beginning and the end of this book different? What do you think? You should have noticed that the beginning of the story starts talking about the 2 kids and Grandpa, and Grandpa's telling them a story, and then at the end they finish up with the story that Grandpa tells. But in the middle of the story, we have a completely different story. So we have the story of the kids and their grandpa and what they're doing, but then we also have the second story inside of a story, okay? So the genre of this book is fiction, and it's a tall tale. Remember, a tall tale is like an exaggeration. So the Paul Bunyan, Paul Bunyan, Johnny Appleseed, and Henry. I'm blanking. Henry, strong guy. What was his name? What was that story? Henry, I don't know. Anyway. John Henry. That's what it is. John Henry. Big, strong guy. So, those are tall tales. So, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is a fiction tall tale story. So, if it's a fiction tall tale, what does that tell us the author's purpose is? Well, the author is writing to entertain, okay? He's writing to entertain. So, since you've already read the story, what's the setting? There's 2 settings. The first setting is the house that the kids live in. The second setting is chew and swallow. Good. The characters we have, they don't really have specific names other than Henry. But we have Henry, Henry's sister, Grandpa, and Mom. So, Henry and Grandpa, Mom, and his sister, they don't really have the problem. The problem lies inside of Chew and Swallow. What is the problem in Chew and Swallow? Well, the problem is the food stops falling and it's replaced with food that's too big, causing the people to leave Chew and Swallow, right? So how is that solved? Well, it's solved by the people moving to a new town. Okay? That's how it's solved. So those are some things that you should be looking at in your response booklet. I will be also adding a link to this website for some more information just for the food groups that you should be doing. There are some games on there that you can complete with your grown-up. Make sure when you're online that you're always having your grown-up help you. All right. And going on to the second day of your assignment, we are going to talk about the story and really get you thinking by using the questions. Okay, so you have some they're called question cards. They're not really cards, but they look like this. You should have found those in your packet. All right, so you should be answering those. If you haven't already, make sure you answer those. And I want you to pause this video if you haven't answered these, and I want you to go ahead and answer them now. All right, and then we'll go over them. So, we are looking at question 1 says, oops, where did mine go? Question 1 says, what day of the week is pancake morning? You should have answered Saturday. Who makes the pancakes? Grandpa. What happened to Henry? A pancake lands on his head. What was the town in Grandpa's story called? Chew and Swallow, one word. What is different about Chew and Swallow? How is Chew and Swallow different from where we are? Yeah, there are no stores. There's no stores to sell food. How many times a day did the weather come? 3. What came down as snow? Well, the snow fell as mashed potatoes and peas. The people carried things around with them. What did they carry? Yeah, they carried things to eat, like plates, cups, glasses, forks, spoons, knives, napkins. They carried all that stuff with them. Why did the restaurants have no roof? Because the food would just drop in on the plates. Well, in this town, they have a lot of extra food. What do they do with all the extra food? Well, the dogs, cats, and the fish eat it, right? When the weather started to take a turn for the worst, what kinds of food started coming down? So give me some examples of food that came down. Probably Brussels sprouts and peanut butter with mayonnaise. That doesn't sound like a good combination to me. Pea soup. Gorgonzola cheese. Now, gorgonzola cheese is a very smelly cheese. Overcooked broccoli. Ugh, that would be bad. Then there was a hurricane. How did the hurricane come in? With bread and rolls. The kids got so lucky school was canceled because a big pancake fell on it. Number 14. Why was there tomato pulp everywhere? Tomato tornado, yeah. Some of the houses got hit with giant meatballs. People made rafts out of stale bread and they stuck them together with peanut butter. What did they make their houses out of? They used the rafts. What did they have to get used to doing when they moved to their new town? Yeah, they had to get used to going to the stores, right, and buying food. Towards the end of the story, what kind of weather did the kids wake up to? Yeah, snow. And what did they say the snow kind of looked like? Yeah, mashed potatoes. Yeah. So, in your response booklet, there are some words that you need to be looking for. You're going to be looking for words like prediction. Okay? And on page 2 in your response booklet, prediction is your first word. You need to use that word in a sentence. I strongly urge you to use the sentence out of your book. Then you need to give a definition in your words. What do you think prediction means? And then at the bottom, you have to write your own sentence using prediction. All right, so the top one says word in context. Write the sentence. So you're going to use the sentence out of the book that has prediction in it. Then you're going to write down the definition that you think it is. And then you're going to give me an example, your own sentence. Page 3 is drizzle. Page 4 is consisted. Page 5 is portions. Okay? So on day 2, you're going to be doing pages 2, 3, 4, and 5. Make sure you use the sentence out of the book, then write your own definition, and then rewrite a new sentence in your own words so that I can check for understanding that you know what those words actually mean. Okay? You're not just copying out of the book. Stay tuned. We will catch up on day 3, and on day 3 is when we'll talk more about I can't talk now. We will catch up and talk about the 5 food groups.